Hey, welcome back. I'm Neil Peterson, and here we are out in nature. And I am missing certain aspects of being out in the forest and going for a walk in the tall trees, or being in my garden back in Dominican Republic where I've got these beautiful bamboo gardens and tropical gardens. Our time in nature is just so special. We as human beings have grown up to have the privilege of really experiencing how wonderful our planet can be. Our planet is not only just about its beauty, it's also about the sustenance of life. Without our planet's well-being, we have no life. And I brought back to the equation of our planet is like my boat. My boat is out on the high seas, and if I can protect my boat will protect me. So we truly have to appreciate what do we have here from Mother Nature. Now, I did spend a lot of time traveling and flying, and with the result, I have a very high carbon footprint. And I have to look for ways of how can I reduce that carbon footprint or offset that carbon footprint. So one of the signatures of my homes and of my part of my involvement in the environment has been I've planted bamboo gardens. So back in the Dominican Republic, I have planted several hundred bamboo clumpers, and each 1 acre of bamboo clumpers pulls in about 27,000 pounds of carbon dioxide. And if I can have enough bamboo planted in different parts of the world, eventually I can come back to a place of a lower carbon footprint. But during this COVID-19 period where I've now been in lockdown, I have not been in a car, I've not been on a plane. My carbon footprint has probably become somewhat negative because of my bamboos are continuously, where I have them at our different homes, continuously sequestering carbon and putting it back into the soil. So part of our thinking process is we have to come back to a place of how can we have a lower carbon footprint, be carbon neutral or be carbon negative. Now it is very, very hard, but we've got to start finding a way to try. We've got to try and find a way to make the impact. We've become aware of what is that footprint. And some of those simple things I try to recycle. I try to be mindful of how much meat I'm eating. I try to look at what are my activities and how does that contribute towards the carbon footprint. So I think each and every one of us, through conscious effort, we can find the way. Our ocean is also a major part of our carbon sink, and I have some incredible memories of the time on the ocean, and here I am standing, the closest I can get to the ocean is standing next to a pool. And we've got to again start thinking about water. I'm in Cape Town, South Africa, which has been the center of droughts in time gone by because of diminishing rainfall and growing populations. And it's going to become very difficult. We can't always have a pool to sustain water, because our water has to also become something of sustaining life, not just for our own personal indulgence, but for the use of our community, the use of our plants, the use of our animals. So again, it's about being aware and paying attention to what is going to happen as rainfall patterns with climate change start to transpire and start to have an impact. I've spent so much time on the water, and I've seen some amazing things out there on the ocean. And one of the memories was last year, Darlene and I were in Cartagena, Colombia, and I don't remember exactly what time of the year it was, except for this one thing that took place, the phosphorescence. We were on our boat, and this one particular evening, the ocean started to come alive, and the next evening it became even more alive, and by the third evening, the phosphorescence bloom was so intense that I got into the water to go and swim in the phosphorescence to just make my whole body a part of nature. We got in the inflatable, and we went motoring away from the boat and had this phosphorescence trail coming off the wake of the boat. And it was so bright, it felt as if the boat and I was floating in a light ball of the ocean. Now, phosphorescence comes about because of plankton, and plankton has been an amazing, not only just feeding fish life, the microorganisms, and being one of the very minute pieces of the food chain, it also has been a mechanism of taking carbon dioxide out of the oceans and sequestering it and releasing oxygen. And an investigative journalist who's a very good friend of mine, Tony Bartlemy, did this amazing TED talk after he wrote an investigative newspaper article where he spoke about the role of plankton in the oceans and in the environment, and why it has become so important for us to pay attention to our oceans and protect the oceans and protect it from the pollution that is taking place. So further in the notes of our YouTube video, I will post the link to Tony's TED Talk, and I'd love to hear your ideas of what are you finding that you've appreciated about your planet and your environment that you want to share with us, and what are some of the lessons that you've learned that we don't have to reinvent. So post something inside of YouTube and share those experiences, that knowledge on how we all can come together to appreciate what we call Mother Earth. I look forward to the next part of our journey.